Marketing Masterclass. We're here to demystify marketing. But before I jump into that, I just want to explain what we're going to do here today. So I'm going to be teaching you loads of amazing stuff to do with marketing. Then I'm going to be giving you an opportunity for how you can work with me. And then at the end, I'm going to answer all your questions as well. So stay with me through to the end. The aim is to be here for about an hour, but I will stay a little bit longer if you've got questions. Morning, Louise. You can hear fine. Brilliant. That's what I wanted to know. So this is session number 2 of the Marketing Masterclass. We've got 2 this month. Another one in December and then one in January. So you've got no excuses for making 2019 the absolute best it can be. In each session, we're going to kind of cover a few different things, but they all combine together to really make a difference to your marketing. So last session we covered self-belief, self-confidence. We covered why your customers buy your product, the difference between what it does and what it is. So how you're talking about your product and how you're putting yourself out there. If you want to catch up with that, I'm going to pop the link. I had the wrong link, so bear with me. Okay, so I'm going to pop the link in here so you can go and catch up if you want to. Okay, hi Sherry, hi Linda. Sharon, you put I'm working too. You can't hear the machine, thankfully. You see the faces I pull at it. That's brilliant. Oh no, I'm froze. I'm going to keep on going. If it gets really bad, we will do something about it. I frozen from Terry as well. I'm going to keep going. Oh, hold on. It's got me talking in the background there. You've got to love a YouTube link for just starting. Right, I've got rid of that now. So we've dealt with that. That's the first session where we deal with so much great stuff. If you haven't seen it, please do go. And there's a great download with that video as well. So I'm looking at my notes. I do have a question for you. It's the first thing I want to start with is a question. Hi, Paul. Good to see you here as well. So why do you do what you do? Tell me in the comments. I really want to know. Why do you do what you do? There's a reason for me asking. Can you hear next door's cockerel going in the background? Apologise if you do. But in the meantime, get typing and tell me, why do you do what you do? I can tell you why I do what I do while I'm waiting for any responses. Oh no, I've only just come back. I'd better recap then, hadn't I? Okay, so YouTube link is for last week's masterclass session. Last week we covered confidence and mindset and the importance of your head being in the right place and how you can overcome that and some techniques for getting through it. Because we know that those doubts are a normal thing of being a creative business owner. But also we really importantly covered why customers buy your product and the difference between what it does and what it is. And if you missed that session, not now, stick with this session first, but go back and catch that session later and grab the free download as well. Okay. In the meantime, I want to know, why do you do what you do? I really want to know. I'm hoping to pull all this together at the end, you know, like a good comedian and the sketch, and it all comes back to make sense at the end. So stick with me on this and tell me. The reason I do what I do is I had my own creative business. I did personalised stationery. I did weddings and funerals, which seems like an odd mix, but it actually worked really, really well. And the business was doing really, really well. Except, actually, I far preferred the marketing because that was my background. Photography and marketing and PR, that was my previous career history. And actually, when the kids came along and the family, I actually wanted to have a slight change of direction. And before I knew it, I was answering people's questions and helping them in groups, in helping them grow their audience and make more sales. And so I kind of thought, I'm going to make this a bit more official, and I started a handcrafted business back in 2013. So it fitted in with me and my family needs, and it also used all my skills and everything that I loved and enabled me to create a business from that. So that's me, that's my why. So Claire, it started off as a hobby and then my children arrived and I wanted to work for myself. That flexibility, isn't it? That flexibility of being self-employed. Sharon, you put, because everybody needs bags, nobody needs plastic ones, and I love making them. Yes, so for you, it's bringing together your your love of recycling, is that the right word? Your mission to get the world recycling, and of course your skills and your talents as well. So brilliant. Sherry, you've put, because I love it. Love that. Getting the reactions from customers when their flowers arrive with them. Absolutely brilliant. Love that. Love that reason. Lisa, you've put, I blame everything on Kirsty also. I bought a sewing machine. It's grown from there. Joy started as something to do in the evening. Fantastic. Vicky, I do what I do because I love it. It means I'm my own boss, so I can work around my children, which is so, so important. It means I can potentially make money doing something I love. You can make money doing what you love, and you've got that flexibility to work around. It means you can go to, I don't know, events at the school, doesn't it? All sorts of things, sports days even. Sally, everyone likes to feel special, and I'm passionate about using my creative skills to be part of that. Fantastic. Love that you want to make, to you it's how you make the customer feel. Absolutely brilliant. Evelyn, you've put, I have always been a crafter, but making hair accessories was completely by accident, as I made one for my wedding and then had some supplies left and love it so much. I experimented and put a few online to sell. From there, I never looked back and the business began. That's similar to me. I did mine. I did my wedding and then I was asked to do others. So yeah, same background there. Louise, what Sharon said, but replace everyone with knitters. Love it. Nikki, flexibility. Yeah, because we home educate our son and I am disabled. I need to be as flexible as possible with work. I need to be able to work when I'm able to and do other stuff like resting education stuff whenever I need to. Yeah, that's flexibility. Absolutely key. Kim, after controlling marriage and sad divorce, I wanted to do something I enjoyed, help others, and made me in control of what I do. So that control and running your own life, isn't it? It's having your own timetable. I just want to make what I enjoy. Love that. Sharon, hatred of waste is my phrase. Yes, that's a far better phrase. See, I knew you'd be able to phrase it better than I do. It's what you do. Okay, so they are some amazing reasons about why you do what you do, and a lot of it is tied up with what you love and the flexibility in your skills and talents, and they all come together. Or your beliefs, as in with Sharon. Perfect. Right, so now I've got another question for you. We will come to the marketing help very, very soon. I promise. We are on the way. So my next question is, who do you want to work with? Are you kind of targeting people? Your products are for people who you actually want to work with? Okay, are they for people that you like, for people that you've got things in common with? I'd love to know. Terry, I'm pretty much unemployable, so I employ myself. I think lots of self-employed people are now probably pretty much unemployable. In fact, I had somebody tell me the other day they'd hate to employ me, so what does that say? It's a good job. I love what I do, and I think I'm good at what I do as well. Okay, so come on. Who do you want to work with? What type of people we're talking about here? Are they, there's a few mums on here, are they fellow mums? Are they, Sharon, do you want to convert people who currently do waste? What do you want to do? What types of people do you want to work with? Do you know? Sharon, you put work with or for? For is probably the better word, but I like to say with because you're working with people to create and get your beautiful products out there. But yeah, for really. Who do you want to serve? That's probably the better phrase. Okay, let me know. I really do want to know. Claire, you put children because they are our future. If I can only teach them one thing, then I am happy. Okay, so interestingly, Claire, to work with the children, particularly if you're marketing online and doing that, you're actually targeting the parents, aren't you? So you've got a double whammy going on there. Am I right? Tell me what it is that you do, Claire. I'd love to know. What's your product? Your service, what do you do? Sharon, for anyone who needs a bag with nice people. Okay, but are we talking that you want to work with ladies? What is it they carry in their bag? What do they tend to use their bags for? Are you talking particularly that you target kids who are taking stuff to school, maybe? Or are you targeting people who go shopping and go out to the supermarkets? Because obviously if somebody does online shopping, then they're not your ideal customer. Yeah, the purpose for the bag then, Sharon. Sally put, people who appreciate handmade and are willing to pay the price. Yes, love that. They have to be willing to pay the price. They have to be able to afford the price, don't they? And know that they're getting what they pay for. That value is there. Sherry, I love working with brides. Brilliant. There is so much scope with colours and themes, so much choice. Love it. Perfect. Because I'm going to add a little story there. You've led me in, Sherry, by saying brides. I mentioned this story actually in the last masterclass as well. So if you were there, you'll have heard this. But I recently, within the last year or two, was working with a client who was targeting the wedding industry, and she hated brides, absolutely hated brides. They drive her absolutely potty with the demands and the changing of the mind, and really frustrated her. So this actually is really, really important to do, because the best thing for her and her business was to change who she was targeting. It wasn't that the product particularly changed, but to change that targeting of the product. And after that, her business sailed and soared. And still is. Realise I was using past tense. Not the thing to do. It still is. Nikki, my target audience is very specific, but there are certain individual people who I would love to make costumes for. Right. It is. Your audience is very, very specific, Nikki. For those who don't know, Nikki, pole dancers is Nikki's target. But I know from the way you post, and I know from the conversations that we have, that you have a real admiration for their skill and their talent and what they do. And you are there supporting them and cheering them on the whole way. So I think we can pretty safely say that you like your audience and what they do, as well as the fact there's certain individuals within that audience. But overall, you appreciate them. Sally, and people who are looking for something unique, of course. Kim, I want to bring colour and wackiness in people's lives, and also remembering past times, that anyone who wants that I'm happy with. Okay, now Kim, I know that you have different audiences for your products at all. I know you, on the one hand, you can target children who are looking for things to fidget with their fingers, and also obviously dementia sufferers with the same thing. So those are the specific audiences that I'm talking about. And I know particularly with the dementia niche that it's something that's close to your heart. So yes, I think you can say that you work with or for those who you have a connection with and who you want to work with. Claire, you're right. I make crochet items as a hobby, but work side, I want to sell and grow vegetables, salads and herbs for resale on a small scale. Oh wow. So which are we talking about today? Which, when you were talking about for children, is that the crochet items? Is that what you're saying? Or do you want to be teaching children how to grow vegetables? I'm just not marrying you to two different comments there, Claire. I just would like a little bit more clarity on that. Vicky, I want to say anyone who'll buy my products. I know that's what you want to say, and you know that I'll tell you off if that is what you say. Ideally though, people who appreciate my work and feel like they're buying one product that don't fall apart in 2 minutes. Yes, Vicky, but I'm going to share one of Vicky's products. I think I did this in the last session as well. In fact, let's show two, and let's show them in their full glory. So we've got this little guy, and we've got this little guy. So who, Vicky, is your ideal audience for these little guys? Because if they're children, then you want to work, you're targeting parents, aren't you? Yeah. If they are quirky, creative business owners like me, who bought them for gifts for children, who then decided to keep them to liven up their desk. That's a different thing again. So which one is it? I'm not sure I'm a big enough niche. I'm going to pop those down there. So that kind of detail is really where I want to go for you. Terry, I love all my customers. They're crafters and I can learn from them as well as they learn from me. Yes. So you are targeting people, but it's not crafters. Currently with your supplies, it's paper-based crafters, isn't it? It's those using dyes and the CDs. So that's who you're targeting. Brilliant. Sharon, I believe the conversion to appreciating the eco values comes on its own. The movement against waste is growing. Target all of them. That's true. But when it comes to selling your products, your bags normally would have quite a specific use, wouldn't they? They normally, there's a common use. I'm not saying they're never used for anything else, but students using bags or shopping bags, they have that very, very specific use. So I do think you need to think about the use of the bags as well. And the people who, by that I mean the people who use that, who need bags for that particular use, and how you communicate them and whether you actually want to work with them. Because there's so many people out there who can buy bags. You can have bags for men to put their laptops in for work. You can have women with I'm being very generalistic, but that's what niche marketing is, isn't it? It's picking on a group of people. So shopping bags, men or women, but it tends to be, in my experience, the women who go with the attractive bags, the long-lasting bags, who have that forethought and the care about that. We've got students who use bags for school. So which of those particularly would be your ideal target audience? You can have more than one, of course you can, but be specific about it so you know who you're targeting. Lisa, normal people. Oh, are we in the right place? Normal people who want something bespoke but who can't afford loads of money. Okay, you know me and you were going to talk about pricing, yeah? You know that, right? Evelyn, mine is obvious, brides to be, but I also get a lot of mothers who want hair pieces and jewellery for their outfits and some proms. And yes, and the brilliant part of targeting brides and having those as well is you pull that in. And I know you love your brides as well, Evelyn. And I know that your brides love what you do as well. We see that from the photos that you put out there that your customers send you. Terry, that's me out if you're looking for normal people, to Lisa. Yeah. Oh, so many comments. I love it. Sharon, you've put different bags have different purposes. That's exactly what I was trying to talk about. School backpacks are actually mostly targeted to parents, not kids, as parents are more likely to appreciate the quality than the kids are. Yes, but the final product has to appeal to the kids at the same time, doesn't it? Once I get the parents, the kids can be bought into with colours, designs, etc. and in custom made, which is still most of what I do. The fact they get to pick those, yes. Paul, I am listening. Oh dear. Hi Paul, it's my neighbour over the road. Sally, my typical customer is a female and age 30. And do you connect with, well, I'm sure you do, Sally, because you've been there. That is exactly what you are. You are there, you've been there. So you are connecting with those people, you know the conversations to have. Sharon, I bought and I'm not normal either. Claire, for children home growing, right, okay, thank you for the clarity, Claire. I want to teach people how they can grow vegetables with nothing more than an old tin can and a windowsill. On the other hand, you can go all in and get an allotment as well. You don't need a ton of space or even a garden. And if one child can grow a sunflower, a pea plant or a tomato plant, then that is less money spent on shopping list at the large chain supermarket. Oh, I love that. Wow, I love the clarity about what you want to do. Fantastic. Vicky, children usually, but adults also buy for themselves. Or they buy for the kids and then keep it. Claire, I've not found that many people go into their pockets for handmade items anymore. Oh, I think, yeah, I do think if you target the right audience that they can, and they will. That's where, in the last session, talking about what it does rather than what it is absolutely essential. And that's the YouTube link higher up. I'll pop that down again at the end. Terry, the scope for other crafts with my supplies. Decorating candles, mixed media, printing on fabric, making into t-shirts. Yes, of course there is, Terry. Consider myself hand-slapped. Louise, a very specific niche group of knitters and crocheters. They already have a love of natural fibres, use indie dyed yarn, support lots of small businesses, have an eco-friendly attitude. They want multiple project bags for multiple works in progress, and each one has to be as individual as the skeins of yarn they use. They're my tribe. Oh, yes! Love that clarity. Okay. 2 more comments. I'm going to read those out and then I'm going to move on. So I could be here all day reading these. Helen, my ideal customers are women who love art, jewelry, animals and cats. Sometimes there's a crossover. Terry, my supplies are not only paper crafters, you can use them for mixed media, printing onto fabric, decorating candles. Brilliant. Right, so I'm leaving that there for a second. I'm going to come back to it. But I want to ask you another question. Full of questions today. What is marketing? To you, what does marketing mean? Even selling if you want to. Tell me what marketing and selling is to you. When you think, today's a marketing day for my business, what does that mean you're sitting down and doing? This is important, believe it or not. I really, really want to know this, because I have a feeling, I have a gut instinct, I'm going to be challenging some of your comments. Terry, did you just write boring? It says B-O-R-I-N-H. I hope you're not finding it boring. Really want to be challenging your thinking here and want you to understand how you can move your marketing forward. Right, come on. What is marketing? That's what I want to know. For you, what do you think of when you think marketing? If I said, right, tomorrow you've got to spend an hour marketing your business, what would you go and do in that hour? Terry, you put not you, marketing. No, it isn't. It really, really isn't. It's actually really creative, or it can be. So, Nikki, you put getting the right message in front of the right person at the right time. Oh, teacher's pet. Gold star for you there, Nikki. Okay, you're spot on. Exactly spot on. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Claire, you put marketing to me is spamming social media platforms, checking demographics, my area, new area, also checking local supermarkets for their current seasonal vegetables. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, Claire, but there's more to it. And spamming, your use of the word spamming, that concerns me because it's such a negative word. It really is such a negative word. So I want you to kind of rephrase it as communicating. Okay? We really need to lose the attitude. And that sounds really kind of like I'm talking to a 12-year-old. And I don't mean to, even though I do have a 12-year-old and I will say that occasionally. That's not exactly how I mean it, but I just mean you need a different approach to what you think of marketing. Or you're not going to do it and you're going to put it off because you think it's a bad thing. Kim, a nightmare as I don't know what I'm doing is like a foreign language. Kim, I know that you do know what you're doing sometimes, and I think that it's your own mindset. Really, really do. I think you know a lot more than you think you do. Louise, I can tell my members. Louise, it's everything I do to reach and engage with my customers. Yes, it is. Exactly. But Louise, dig that down deeper. What does that mean when you actually sat down to do and spend an hour on marketing? What would you actually be doing? Vicky, getting out there, making people aware of what I make and how my products are just what they need. A gift for a child, a workmate for themselves. Yes. And where are you going to be seen to be putting that out there? What platforms, what tools, what techniques, what strategies, all of those. That's my next one. Linda, an hour is never enough. True, but that's why I wanted to just frame it as what you're going to do in that hour to make you think about being specific. Lisa, showing people what's new, available, convincing people to buy. Yep. Creating opportunities to engage with current and potential customers, showing how I can make a difference to other people's choices. Yep, I like that definition. Sharon, marketing is identifying a marketplace and placing your products in it in a way that generates demand for that product. Oh, yes. Got some great definitions of marketing. I wasn't quite expecting the good ones. Well done, but I am noticing that they're from the people I work with quite regularly in the members club. Evelyn, for me, awareness of the products and brand, yes. And it's also making the offers as well, isn't it, Evelyn? And I'd say that's what you need to think of as your marketing. But I know you already do that. I know that you put your links out there, and I know that you tell people how to buy. Nikki, I'll send your apple in the post. Just bet. I'll look forward to it. Granny Smith's, please. Has to be a Smith, doesn't it? Right, Claire. Okay, not spamming. Thank you. But posting onto Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. If it comes across as wrong, that is why I'm here to learn. Exactly. And please, it's meant as constructive criticism. It's really not meant as, well, it's a little bit of a, that's an issue point. Terry, engaging with people. Yes, having conversations. Sherry, getting my products seen by my target customer. At the minute, I'm mainly posting on Facebook and Insta pages, sharing a post within the wedding groups I'm in. I know you'll tell me off for that. Sherry, we will one of the things I'm going to talk about at the end is how to work with me on my Create Success days. And Sherry, I know, is already joining me on a Create Success day. So we will make sure that that is perfect on the Create Success day. Okay. Linda, banners on my website, schedule posts on Facebook, post stories on IG, etc. Okay, that's just part of it, isn't it? I love the fact that you're being specific. I did ask you to be specific, but yes, that's part of it. Louise, actually doing question, procrastinating. I don't like the fact that you put hides after that. We need words. Linda, you put must get into emails. That's one way. Yeah, that's another way. Terry, my main form of marketing is getting customers to subscribe to my newsletters and then sending them news and updates. And that's a brilliant way. That's the news. Kim, blogging. I've not heard of that one. And you put oops, blogging. Yes, blogging. Yeah, that's another one. Jenny, hello. Newbie here and I'm a little late. Sorry, I make teddies and other animals from outgrown baby clothes or other special fabrics. I'm targeting parents as these aren't toys. Also, those who've lost a loved one and would like a memory keepsake. I guess my marketing would be getting my products seen by the people who want to have a keepsake made and who are willing to pay the prices. Yes. Dig deeper, Jenny. Who actually wants a keepsake? Who will spend the money on a keepsake? And I'm digging deeper here because I'm going to throw a few things out there. I'm not telling you this is the right answer. This is to get you thinking. And feel free, please, disagree with me. Because that is a great way of brainstorming. It's a great way of getting the brain cells working in the right direction. So I would argue that grannies who have disposable income, so not people who are really, really struggling on a very, very small pension, but people who have a disposable income as grannies are likely to be the ones who are buying keepsake presents. Mums are likely to buy keepsake presents, particularly if you're making from the baby clothes that they've outgrown. So really be specific and think about who you are targeting that way. Sally, you put, when I go to networking groups I go to networking groups on a regular basis and post on Facebook and Twitter. Brilliant. Right. So I'm going to scroll all the way back up to Nikki's comment because she is the first comment was the top comment. So I'm going to repeat it. So getting the right message in front of the right person at the right time. That's marketing in a nutshell. It comes down to communication, but it's everything. It's your brand. It's your feel. It's that the person you're targeting feels like it's the place for them. So as an example, if you are targeting mums and kids and that's who you're targeting, you don't want a very bland, official, black and white, photos of business people look to your business, do you? And I'm sure you don't do that, but you want the bright, you want the colourful, you want the fun. So it's making sure that overall your branding works so that all your communications that you put out there fit into that branding and are sending out a consistent message. So that consistency is absolutely crucial as well. Paul, you've put at the moment, typical customer for me is someone male or female who likes to go play war at the weekends, but scope to expand, need to make time to sort website and upload the new ideas and test the market. Yes. And yet, Paul, your target market of reenactors is absolutely, it's a brilliant one because you can find them in groups of people and you can get out there. And also, one person has something done, their friend sees it and they go, where'd you get that? And you get the word of mouth. So it's absolutely brilliant. But if you say wanted to target mums, Paul does vinyl. So if it was a wall vinyl and it was for children's bedrooms, then you need to make sure you've got a section on your website or the images that you're putting out very much appeal to the mums. So it's that branding is absolutely crucial, as well as all the platforms that you use. That branding underlines it. That's your foundation. Okay. Jane, I agree about grandparents buying keepsakes. I get lots as customers. Yeah. So the beauty of knowing exactly who you're talking to, that right person, and really knuckling down means that you're having the right conversations with people. In the last session, I spoke about knowing what a product does instead of what it is. So, Sharon, with your bags. Picking on you for a second. With your bags, it's very much a case of if it's a rucksack and you know that it's going to appeal to school kids, then having the photos as you've been taking recently of the bags with your daughter and their friends is absolutely perfect for targeting those people. But the same photo would not appeal, wouldn't grab attention, because that's what marketing is. We've got the levels, haven't we? We've got the interruption marketing, which is social media. You're having to go out there and grab people's attention and take them away from the news feed and just grab them, so it makes sense to them. So if those photos are really going to talk to students and the mums of students and pupils, you're right, it is the mums as well. Of course it is, but that's who it's going to attract. So you need to make sure that the words match. There would be no point having a picture which is on the back of the bag on your daughter's back and then having words which talk to, I don't know, about a man taking a laptop to work, because the two don't marry. We need that consistency of image and message. Okay. Military stencils. Yep, perfect. That's the phrase I think I was looking for, Paul. Sharon, I'm used to it. It was just a really, for me, talking then about Sharon's was an easy example to try and pick up. Right, Jane, what's your business? I used to do reenactments, have lots of reenacting friends. Oh, I didn't know that, Jane. So yeah, military stencils, that's what he does. He does it a lot. Brilliant. You thought, but any stencils really? I've done cupcakes and all sorts. Just been asked for a Santa boot print stencil. There you go. See, now that's an example of marketing. It's being in the right place at the right time and talking to people who have an interest in what you do and then following up with that conversation as well. Brilliant. Right, so my next question, had to check my notes then before I go off on a tangent. You know what I'm like, don't want to go off on a tangent today. Haven't got time for that. Right, so does your communication that you currently put out there, your branding, your photos, your words, your Facebook cover picture on your page, your website, or your cover picture on your Etsy or your eBay, whatever it is that you are seeing, does that appeal to the people we've just been talking about, the people that you want to target, the people you need to target? Does it? Or are you doing the equivalent, as I said before, that you've got a website that wants to be talking to parents, but actually looks really official and like it could be a solicitor talking? Does your current marketing fit your target audience? Hi Lou, lovely to have you here. Jane, yes, I also make 17th century clothes from time to time. Wow, I bet they take a while, I imagine. Nikki, you've put... Terry, you put, I'm happy with mine. Perfect. Right, Nikki, you've put, I struggle with keeping my marketing message on a par with the way my customers speak and behave online. I'm not good at social media speak. I don't emote constantly on Facebook, and so it doesn't come across naturally. So I often come across a bit wooden because it's not how I speak naturally. My customers are usually younger than me and use terms that I don't really use. How I do retain my integrity, i.e. not being false or coming... How do I retain... Sorry, I'll read properly. How do I retain my integrity, i.e. not being false while coming across in a way that customers will assuage with? Okay, so it's picking up on little bits of their language that you are happy to use. You don't have to kind of dive in and use all the text speak and all the letters and anything. You don't have to jump all in. What you do need to do is you need to make sure that when you're talking about your products particularly, or you're talking about a show particularly, that you are on their wavelength enough. They know that you're a business. They know that you're not the same age as them. And I actually think if you went full in, if you started kind of trying to be down with the kids, then actually they would back away from you and they would feel, no, I'm not so comfortable being with this person. So it's not a case of actually completely being in there, but it is a case of, have they got particular words and terms that they use to refer to particular moves, particular shows, any hashtags that are used, making sure there's just enough that's familiar in there at the same time. The fact that you are using the images of your customers, the fact that you have those, the fact that you go to shows and the fact that you talk to them, I don't think you have much to worry about. I think those images are enough. I think the fact that you are connecting with them on that level is more than enough. It's just making sure that I'm trying to think of an example. I suppose my example is making sure that the words you're using, they do understand. It's almost the difference in the American term between pants and pants, isn't it? Pants in the UK and pants in America, completely different things. So you want to make sure that on that level, everything is matching and works for them and they understand it. You don't want that kind of confusion going on. But other than that, be yourself. Completely be yourself. They already love you. They already like you. They already connect with you. So I wouldn't worry too much about... It's about not using the wrong language more than it is about using their language. Vicky, but I think so, but I feel a bit unfocused with my marketing. Okay, unfocused. Do you mean on the day-to-day basis on what you're putting out there? Do you think your overall big picture works and your branding works and we need to dig down into your platforms? I've got a big list of what we're going to be talking about in a second. We do need to move on because I've just seen the time. Sherry, but I think so. Right, if you only think so, go back and have a look through the eyes of your customers. It's a great exercise to do. Or, Members Club members, ask another member to look at your website, your pages, your social media, whatever it is. It's an exercise we can do in the Members Club, actually. But from the eyes of your ideal customer, instead of just necessarily them, because I can go and look at people's websites quite happily and I can give you my own personal opinion of whether I like it and whether this is in the right place and whether that's wrong or the colour's wrong. I have to look, for me to be useful, I have to look through the eyes of a customer. So that's what you want. You don't just want any old friends, any old family, your next door neighbour, sorry Paul, unless they are your ideal customer. You can listen to their thoughts, of course you can, but it's your ideal customer. It's that niche that you want to make sure you're appealing to. Jane, I really have to pull my socks up with my marketing very soon. I've been so busy sewing that I've neglected it. This live might be just the thing to give me the kick up the bum. Brilliant. First job. Look at what you're putting out there. Does it actually appeal to the people you want to be targeting? Very first job. Number one job to sort out. Oh, I'm liking the hearts. Whoever's giving me the hearts. Thank you. Kim, you put, I struggle, I have dementia and autism, etc. on the one hand where I'm offering a solution, but I also make home decor for those who like vintage kits, etc. Am I two businesses? Yes and no. I don't want you to split into two businesses from the point of view of what you're doing and what you're putting out there. But you do need to be very, very clear about who you're talking to for which products and when, and make sure that you're putting that out there. I actually think you've got a really big crossover. Have I got a piece of paper I can draw on? Okay, and by a crossover, what I mean is, excuse me as I do a quick doodle. For those who come to Members Club Q&As, you'll be used to me doing this. I'm just calling other. By other, Kim, I really do mean your vintage, your kitsch, etc. Okay, so if this is your audiences, oops, I always forget that I affect my lights when I do that. This area in the middle, that's who you want to be targeting there even. Okay, so those people, you're going to have people out there, and also, I'm going to say, those ones with the X's as well. So you've got that crossover happening. You are going to have people out there who love vintage, who love kitsch, who have elderly parents who are suffering with dementia. You're going to have the same with people who have the kids who need that support and help as well. So on that basis, as long as you continually target consistently those, you're fine. You definitely have that overlap. So yeah, don't think of it as two businesses. Just make sure that you're being very, very clear that these are the people that you're talking to. Because if you start to talk to just these people, or just these people, or I'm not very good with pointing, am I? Or just these people, you're going to start alienating the others. So, yeah. And I think you're there. I think you do this naturally more than you think you do. Lisa, you put, from recent sales, I'm doing something wrong somewhere. Lisa, create success. You know that we're going to be fixing this very, very soon. Lisa's also signed on to Create Success. The places are going fast. Nikki, you've put to Evelyn, I'm in the same boat. I'm far older. Oh, I think I missed a comment then. No, I missed a comment. If I have, I can't see it. I'm in the same boat. I find I am far older than my brides, but I find the relationships work. Yes, because what they actually want sometimes is they want to know that you've got that experience and you've got that expertise in what you do. And sometimes that age gap really helps with that. So yeah, don't worry about age gaps. It's fine. They want to kind of to be led sometimes, isn't it? Oh, Nikki is telling me you've just joined. Did you get thrown off? I hope not. Vicky, you've put, yes, branding is okay, nice and bright. I feel like when I focus on one product, I'm thinking about the other ones, and perhaps don't keep on about one product long enough before I move on to another. Right, so that is one thing that's really, really important with your marketing. You know, we all know that if you see an advert once, it disappears by, you see a social media post, it comes and it goes. There's so much going on in our lives. We are so busy. So yes, you're spot on, Vicky. What you really, really want to be doing is you want to be very, very specific about what you're working on at a specific moment in time. So maybe January has a focus, February has a focus, and that's what you're talking about. It might be, it becomes all about dogs, or it becomes all about cats. So you've got that consistency going on of being seen and putting the message out there. It doesn't necessarily have to be by the product. It could be the fact that it's the kits, it could be the maid, but swapping and keeping that consistency so people are seeing it more than once. And that also your platforms are consistent. So if you've got a website, you're above the fold, what people see first, matches with what you're talking about on social media at the moment. It matches with what's going out on your emails. You've got that joined up thinking. It's like a jigsaw, making sure all the pieces fit together. What you don't want to be doing is having a piece from one jigsaw, a piece from another jigsaw, so it's disjointed. Because if people see you on social media and visit your website and it doesn't match, that's why you want the branding consistency as well as the message consistency. So yeah, I would say you really, minimum is a couple of weeks each time on what you're talking about. If you set your goals in such a way that you know that, right, this month, this 2 weeks, whatever time period you want to do, I want to sell X of these. Let's say I want to sell X dogs. It's easy to have a prop and show you, isn't it? I want to sell 5 of these in the next week. That means that all your energy is pushed on talking about these little guys one way or the other. And their cute little tails. Look, he's wagging. What you have to remember is you will feel like you are pushing the same message over and over and over and over and over and over again. And you will feel, to use Claire's word, you'll feel spammy. But remember, Facebook doesn't show everybody everything. We know that. Neither does Twitter, neither does Instagram, none of them. Emails are not opened by 100% of people. In fact, if you've got a 20% open rate, you're doing really, really well. Even if you go putting leaflets round through people's doors, you know that some of them won't even get looked at. So that approach of putting it in all the different places all at the same time only feels spammy to you, because you actually need and want people to see it more than once, because they're going to see it the first time and go, oh yeah, that's nice. See it the second time, I saw that the other day, oh it was cute, yeah, oh I could do that for so and so, oh that would be a good fit. They get distracted. The third time, oh I was going to buy that, oh look there's only so many left, or there's a deadline, da-di-da-di-da. Start to think about taking action. They need to see it over and over again in multiple ways. You need to have that consistency of message going out there. But you need to know that they're not going to see every single message that you put out there at all. But they still need to see it. Nikki, you put, that's a good point about age gaps. Sometimes I feel like I'm kind of an agony aunt and customers confide in me. Yeah, but if that's the way they see you, then, and it works, then that's part of your branding, it's part of who you are, it is part of your marketing, isn't it? And you've got PS, I've got thrown off, but I came back. Oh no, naughty Facebook. Okay, so what have we learnt so far? We've learnt that you need to know who you're talking to. We know that marketing is all about communications. We know that it's about being seen in multiple places with a consistent message at the same time. We've also covered that being specific on what you want to achieve really helps you have a consistent message that goes out and means that you are looking at new ways to put the same message out constantly. Yeah, does that sound fair? I think we've covered quite a lot. Talking. Love these. I love interactive classes. Okay, so, right, I lost what I was doing. It's because I drew on the back of it for Kim. Right, are you with me? Is it all making sense so far? Because now I want to start talking about specific platforms. Okay, so, when I say platforms, it's kind of platforms and strategies and where people can find you and see you and hear from you. So the marketing stuff that you do, the tools, the techniques that you use. What do you actually use? I'm going to read out my list, and I wrote this down a few minutes before we came online, and I can guarantee I'll have missed something because there's so much out there you can do. So, for me, social media, of course. We're on a social media platform now, so of course it comes straight to mind. You've got Facebook, you've got pages and groups, you've got Twitter, you've got Instagram. I class Pinterest as social media. I know it's technically isn't, but it falls really nicely within that category when you're doing the work on it. And you've got YouTube. More on YouTube in a minute. Now, they are brilliant, except you do not want all your eggs in one basket on just one platform. I asked this in the Facebook group earlier, who does have all their eggs in one basket, particularly the Facebook basket. What you do need to be ultra careful of is what happens if one day Facebook decides we don't want pages anymore. We're going to get rid of them. Panic stations. I'll be there with you. I will. Well, if you have that reliance on a Facebook page or a Facebook group, you are in risky, dangerous ground. You need another way of communicating to your customers. You need another way of getting out there and being seen by them. It's great. It's brilliant, especially when it's working and you're managing to interrupt them and grab their attention and having conversations with them. Absolutely brilliant. Of course it is. But you need a more robust system than that. In fact, what I am going to do right now is I'm going to give you a link to a free download, Talking Social Media, so it kind of makes sense. Vicky, you put Facebook, Instagram, newsletter, website, blog, Pinterest, YouTube, a teeny bit of Twitter for me. Brilliant. So you've got quite a rounded, more than just one social media platform. Absolutely brilliant. Right, this is a free download if you want to collect it today. There's the link. And the link will give you 36 content ideas. 36 content ideas. If that's what you want, if you need help with your social media, even your emails and anywhere else that you're putting information out there, 36 content ideas. They are just prompts. Use them to get your brain working. Could I use that? Could I use that? And brainstorm the ideas. Download it. Then brainstorm the ideas. Right, so social media is obviously one. Vicky, read yours. I thought I saw Kim. Nikki, you put my eggs are everywhere, but not Twitter. Hate Twitter. Fair enough. You don't have to use every single platform as long as you're not solely relying on one. Kim, Facebook, but I'm on Instagram, Pinterest and Twitter, but never really use those. You need to. That consistency of being seen, and different people are in different places. So make it a habit that when you post on Facebook, you do versions elsewhere as well. And do you know what? Pinterest is brilliant. I've got a pin on Pinterest. Oh God, it must be 2 years old. It's got to be 2 years old. And I was looking at my website, I can't remember if it was last week or the week before, at the week's most visited pages, and one of the top 5 was a particular pin from Pinterest. Was one of my top 5 visited pages. I put it on there 2 years ago. It's still working. It's still doing a job. You have to remember that as well. Pinterest and YouTube are far superior in many ways to Facebook, Twitter and even Instagram, because they live longer. They have a longer use. YouTube particularly, anyone can search for. I've got videos from 2, 3, 4 years ago that are getting more views than the latest videos, and they're still getting new views, and that it's still working. Okay, so you have to look at the value of what you're putting out there. Pinterest is worth the effort because it lasts longer. Facebook, it's in the newsfeed, it's gone. Okay, so it's the value of your work as well. Sherry, you've put Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and you've started wedding fairs. Brilliant. What I will say is you need to make sure that the people you talk to at wedding fairs, that you have a way of getting back to them and talking to them again. So emails, please collect emails. That's point number 2. So back to my list. We've got social media. And again, there's more value in some of them than there are in others. And yet we seem to spend most of our time on the ones that don't have the most value and don't have the longest life. Go figure. Or make a change to what you do. Emails are absolutely brilliant because you have collected those emails, and as long as you've collected them in the way that is GDPR compliant, you own those emails and you can use them in the way that you've said you will. You're not going to have a platform suddenly close you down. Unless, of course, you abuse MailChimp. If you use MailChimp, in which case, make sure you've got a regular download of your lists so you can carry on using them. Direct mail. It's another marketing tool. Not many people use it nowadays. Obviously, you need people's addresses or you need to be able to target your local people so you can go through and put it through their doors. But it still is a marketing tool that can work. Events. Sherry, you've just said about going to events. Exactly. Events are a great way to get in front of your ideal audience, the people you want to work for. If you want to get in front of, I'm not really going to say that this is the best place to go because they kind of, if you want to target parents, school fairs. If you're targeting the right price point there, you are going to meet your ideal audience. If your price point is way above school fair tables, which I hope it is, then it isn't the best place. But you see my point, that go where your audience is. When I had my wedding stationery, when I was marketing the wedding, even when I was marketing the funerals, I went to where the brides went before they were looking for stationery. So with brides, I made sure that I had contacts and networks with bridal boutiques. And for funerals, I went direct to the funeral directors and they were the middleman, so I didn't have to deal with people directly. I was following on. So that method of marketing, it's going and being seen where your audience are. So whether it's events or whether it's networking. I've jumped. That's further down the list. Third party. If you know that your ideal audience shops a particular shop that sells, that has independent sellers, that has a shelf to rent or whatever it is, go there. What are you waiting for? Go and approach them. See if they've got a shelf that's available. Because if people are already buying things that are similar to you from there, your audience is already going there, then it's going to work for you as well. Caveat is, make sure your pricing includes the commission and the costs of being in that shop. But you have to go to where your audience is. You know who they are. We've had a big discussion about it. So now, where are they? They aren't necessarily just hanging out on your Facebook page. Online marketplaces. If your buyers are already on Etsy, they're already on High Street, they're already on eBay, wherever they might be, if it's a place they trust, if it's a place that is their go-to place, then yeah, be seen in those places as well. Can you see the logic behind where I'm going? Guest blogging is a great marketing tool because your audience is already a fan of the place where you want to be seen, who you're going to connect with through guest blogging. If you can put a guest blog out there that's going to appeal and talk to your audience, and your audience already visits the place where you're going to do this, brilliant, perfect marketing. Blogging on your own platform and SEO. Google is your friend. If your ideal audience is doing searches for things, then get the blogs on your website. Make sure the keywords are on your website that match those search terms by Google, so Google are sending you people direct. Brilliant. Postcards in local shops. If your audience is local, get out there and be seen in your local shops. Talk to your local shopkeepers and other people in the queue while you're there as well. Talking, great marketing tool, just talking to people. You love what you do. You have a passion for what you do. So if it's appropriate, I don't mean completely randomly, if it's appropriate, if someone sees you sticking up the postcard in the shop, then talk to them about it. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Please, please don't. You don't know where the best opportunities are going to come from. You really, really don't. I've got networking online and in person, so those Facebook groups that you're going into, commenting on other Facebook pages. I don't mean on your competitors and using those underhanded tactics, but if you're targeting parents, then go to groups where parents are. Networking mummies, isn't that something? Be in those places. It doesn't mean you're spamming the groups by always being the one to post. It means you've got to go through the groups, use the search function, and look for the posts that are relevant for you to comment on, so you become known for what it is that you do and you get seen by a new audience. Here's a random one. Write a book. If it's relevant, write a book about what it is that you do. Get out there and be seen by a new audience. Video. Got to use video. Move video or slideshows, or even creating videos from your own images. That movement is eye-catching. And then, of course, there's advertising as well, and making sure you use the advertising. Facebook's brilliant for advertising with how you can target people. So targeting the people who match what we've just been talking about. Okay, so I've raced through those. Absolutely raced through them. You don't have to do them all. You really don't have to do them all, but you do need to be doing a mixture of them. You need to be trying them and testing them and seeing which ones work for you. Yeah, and if it works, got to give it a while. You've got to kind of do it for a couple of months, and then you can assess, is that working? Great, carry on. The working can be checking your Google Analytics on your website, checking your insights on your Facebook page, checking the stats on your Etsy, wherever you're going to get this information that you can see where people are coming from and how they're finding you and what they're doing afterwards. That's how you check if something's actually working. Sometimes, I can tell you now that pin that I put on Pinterest 2 or 3 years ago, at the time I would have told you it wasn't working. And yet now it still is. So have a look and see what's working, how people find you. Put a survey out to your audience and see, ask them, how have you found me? Would you recommend me? Word of mouth, that's your other one. Okay, let me just... So Kim, for me it's daunting as it's a steep learning curve to learn them all. You do not need to learn them all in one go, one at a time. So maybe this week is about Pinterest. And Pinterest is as simple as going to Pinterest, pinning one of your photos, putting a title which includes the search terms, phrases that are relevant to your ideal audience and the picture that you've just put up there. The same, putting some information in the description and making sure it links back to where they can buy that product, whether it's an Etsy, whether it's your website, whatever it would be. That's all you need to do. Oh yeah, and put them onto your own boards. But yeah, that's it. So Kim, you could have a board for dementia, you could have a board for autism, you could have a board for vintage, and you can have a board for kitsch. So you're making sure that you're just picking the relevant products in the right relevant places. But if you've got some on 2 boards, that's absolutely fine as well. Think of them as pin boards. So one platform at a time, get stuff out there and either move on to the next one in a couple of months' time, or carry on with one and add another one in then as well. Lisa, I pretty much don't understand most other places. Instagram got little response. I've got love-hate with Instagram. I don't understand Twitter. Pinterest intrigues me. YouTube scares me. Pinterest would be brilliant for you. Absolutely brilliant. You've got to remember with Pinterest, it's a visual medium. So people are on there because they love to see things. Sherry, I love Pinterest and I've now linked my Etsy items bonus. Yep, brilliant. You can get those 2 talking. Terry, I've chosen Pinterest over Instagram. Having read a comparison and what each are better for, my particular business at this moment is better placed on Pinterest. I agree. I'm trying to focus my marketing better, and running all over the place doesn't work. Exactly. You cannot do it all. Don't even try to do it all. But you do need a system that when you do something, it's reflected with what's going on in your website or your Etsy store. It's reflected on all your other platforms, and it's reflected in emails, whatever it is that you're doing. Whatever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things you choose to do, your choice, the more you put out there, the more you're going to get seen. If you only put one thing out once on Facebook, the chance of being seen are slim. If all you do is list something once on Etsy and then you do nothing else with it, you let it just sit there and do its own thing. If you're lucky, it will work on the Etsy algorithm and be seen by people and get you sales. Great. What about when the algorithm changes? Suddenly that's everything gone. Panic stations. You had all your eggs in one basket. We don't want that. You need the balance. You need a mix of a few things going on. But don't try and do everything. Sherry, I've started emails. I have 8. Everybody starts at 0. So 8's brilliant. And if those 8 are 8 brides who are planning weddings at the moment, how perfect are they for you to have their email addresses? Far better to have 8 of your specific targeted customers than 1,000 of people who got married 20 years ago and have no interest in getting married again. So 8's brilliant. Well done. Helen, thinking of killing my Twitter account and have been concentrating recently on IG. It's more fun than Facebook, as Facebook just wants to sell ads now. But my plan is now to push on with YouTube, as I noticed that my how-to videos are getting loads of views. So now I'm practicing videos. I would suggest people also look into publications. I donated a few pendants to the cat and got business as a result from those. Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And the beauty of YouTube is it has a longer life. Everything you put on there lasts because people search YouTube for what it is that they want to see. So make sure that your titles match things that your audience are looking for. People watch all sorts on YouTube. I mean, people unbox things on YouTube. It's what people like. So do unbox, pack up one of your own products, unbox it. I don't know. There's all sorts you can do. Lisa, you got apologies, got to drop out, upset sister on the phone. Oh no, don't worry, I know we're catching up again soon. But yeah, Helen, what you're also doing when you said about publication, yeah, to me that's the equivalent of the guest blogging. You're going to where your audience already is. Sally, Pinterest told me that in 2017, is that 6k plus people? You put K6, I think you mean 6,000 plus people repinned my photos. Exactly. And those photos still can come up and still can be found. Paul, Pinterest looks dead easy. Just uploaded a photo. Simples, need some photos and screenshots now. Yep. Make sure you're putting them onto boards that are relevant to your audience to find. So Paul, you could have reenactment boards. You could have World War I. You could have World War II. You could have boards for bedroom vinyls. There's all sorts of things that you could have on there. You put Paul, sorry, I was listening to you whilst doing it. No, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Helen, you've put, thanks Nicola, totally the kick up the bum I needed. I need to start a blog, make some YouTube videos and look again at Pinterest. Brilliant. So with a blog, make sure you're putting things out there that are interesting, useful, relevant, entertaining, fun for your ideal audience. Okay, so if you've loved this session, if you've found it useful, it hasn't been as structured as it could be, so I hope you've managed to take your notes and you've scribbled lots of useful things down. If you really would like to put all this into a structure, into a proper plan for your business, so you know the platforms you're going to use, you know what your branding's going to be like, you know that your pricing is spot on so that when you do sell your products, that actually you're making money from selling them, because you have to have your pricing spot on. If you're underselling yourself, you're not making money with what you're doing. So if you want all of that in one place, one day even, sort it all in one day so you're really, really clear about what it is that you're doing. And by one day, it's this, several sessions in one day from 9 till 6. There are breaks. I do know we're going to need comfort breaks. We are going to eat. We need to drink. So it's like being back in the school for a day. Think of each class as a time session with a break in between. Then look at my Create Success days. My Create Success days is doing this and more. You have that final finished plan. You know exactly what it is that you're going to be working on, exactly how you're going to make your income in 2019 and what it is that you really, really need to be doing. Okay? I can't actually do the work for you, but I can help you create the plan for the work that you need to do. We can put the system together that whenever you do a blog or whenever you list a product, that you know what you're also doing. You've got a checklist for the steps that you're going to need to do along the way. So you know that if I list a product, I'm also doing Pinterest and Facebook and scheduling this, and I'm writing in it. You've got a tick box. It's that joined up thinking. It's that making sure that you've got all the pieces of your jigsaw in the right place. Take a look at that link, Create Success Day. That is the place where I am going to be working with just 10 people on each. There's 2 dates. You hear my tummy, I apologise. Just 2 dates right now. 1 in December and 1 in January. Places are filling fast. They are going. So if you do want to join me, make sure you grab your date that you want to do. Right. Any questions? I really want to take any questions. Yeah, and any questions about the Create Success Day, do ask me. Also, I wasn't really planning on saying this today, but if Create Success is out of your remit, if you think, actually, do you know what, I can't afford to spend a whole day, either I haven't got the time or I haven't got the funds right now, take a look at, I've got to find the link, I said I wasn't planning on doing this, take a look at my extended Black Friday offer. It finishes on Saturday for joining my members club. You can join my members club. If you look on the website and you click the join club, you will see that it's closed because it has been. I've opened it for 1 week only and it's only available on this page. But come along and join the members club if Create Success doesn't work for you. If it's too much, it's only open till Saturday to do that, and you get, at the moment, you can get 1 month or 3 months free depending on how you join. Okay, sorry, that was a last second. I'm going to tell you about that because I know that not everybody will be able to afford either the time or the money to invest in the Create Success Day. Okay, so in the members club, you get sessions like this, but asking the questions more, twice a month. So real kick up the bottom. I nearly said something I probably shouldn't. Real kick to get you into action every single month. Right. Sherry, you've put, I was told with boards on Pinterest to include loads of other items that are not yours to draw people in and they see what's yours. Yes, but not direct competitors. So, Sherry, for you, bridal flowers, you're going to have a bridal flower site, page, board. That's the word I'm looking for. Bridal flowers board. And you can put all sorts of things in there, including yours. You're going to have a bride board. So you can put dresses in there, shoes in there, headpieces in there, and your flowers in there. Maybe you want to make it all about handmade, so you've at least got that tie-in. But you can have those multiple boards. You can have a board that is just yours as well. Of course you can. Your Pinterest, you can do what you want with it. But having those other boards, people are likely to follow the other boards, so when you put yours in as well. But yes, spot on advice. Sherry, my husband has been told to make a batch of cookies ready for Create Day. I love that. You're going to sit there and nibble your cookies. It's a shame we're not quite live, isn't it? I'm going to be jealous of you. I'm so looking forward to the Create Success Days. They are going to be brilliant. The advantage of only having 10 in a group is that we can really knuckle down, and I will make sure that I know everybody's business before we start as well. And by that, I mean, I'm not constantly asking questions like, what is it you do? What is it you do again? I'll know. So everything we do, I can be really specific and give you really unique help. Not quite as good as one-to-one, but it's the best you're going to get. Can you imagine 9 till 6 of me? I've got to hope my voice hangs out. What I am thinking of doing on those days is it won't just be typing. You'll have the opportunity to come and talk to me as well, so we can just have some conversations. So it isn't just me all the while. But if that isn't for you, you can type as well. It's fine. It's the equivalent of staying at the back of the classroom, just typing, isn't it? Jane, you put, I was told the same, Sherry. I have other people's keepsakes on some of my boards to draw people in. Yes, but make sure they're not the keepsakes that you offer. Make sure there's something different about them. So they're still keepsakes. Maybe it's... Let me higher up my... Right, so that is a keepsake. It's not what you do. It's completely different. I'm going to lower this down now. But those are flowers from my bridal bouquet. Now, it happened to be that my aunt did that for me and gave it to me as a gift afterwards. But the equivalent of that isn't something you do. So how perfect. Do you know what? I've got a paperweight downstairs on the desk, and the paperweight has got one of the sugar flowers in from my wedding cake. And that was what we bought and gave everybody as gifts as well. From a lovely place in Port Talbot. It's still going. Absolutely brilliant. Now that is the perfect thing to put on there with your keepsakes. Zero competition, isn't there? There's no competition with what you do. If you can show scrapbooks, you can show all sorts of things in there, but your products, your bears, everything that you do, that you're keeping that unique just to you. Show you I have cakes, dresses, colours, etc. Mine are the only flowers. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, of course. Any other questions? I've just seen the time. I know we're going over. My coffee's probably gone. Even though it's in my mug to try and keep it warm, I bet my coffee's gone cold. Oh, look at that. I've been spilling things on my top. I kept my top on. I was too cold not to. Okay, any other questions? Anything else I can help you with today? In the last video, in the last session, I'm going to scroll back up and find the link because I seem to have closed it down. In the last session, we covered mindset, confidence, talking about what your product does instead of what it is. All of that really, 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 really important. So if you've missed that, and with that session, there is a download. I'm going to have to open up YouTube again. There is a download, which is a business plan on a page. Business plan that's really, really brilliant. So please have a look at that. If you haven't already, and grab at that download. This is me about to try and press pause so it doesn't start talking. There you go. So here's that link. So that's the last session. I'm going to give you again the link for today's freebie. Lots to look at here. Okay, there's that one. I'm losing the plot. And this is if you were interested in joining the members club. Remember, this offer is only on till Saturday. Okay, so I think those are the 3 links you need. Let me have a look, see what else has been said. Nikki, you thought I have a Pinterest board for my own inspiration that's set to private. They're brilliant to have as well. But my public boards are things like inspirational pole dancing quotes, pole workout routines, that sort of thing. Brilliant. But also have another one, which is pole dance costumes. And in there, mainly have the ones that you create, of course, but use those photos that you've got of people who are actually in action, not just your stills. Yep, so you're using the competition photos and the photos that your customers have sent you. Get those on there. And also maybe even have another board which is bizarre, wacky costumes. Because I know you have, well, maybe bizarre and wacky is just my interpretation. Maybe that isn't what your audience calls them, but something out of this world pole dancing costumes, and have your more outlandish ones on there. And maybe throw in a few others as well that are just out there that are kind of normal your pole dancing customers wouldn't normally wear, wouldn't normally go to, but wow, will really grab attention. So you start to get followers to a board that way. Maybe. Jane, you put lots of good ideas. Thank you, Nicola. My pleasure, Jane. You know I love these live sessions. Kim, you've put love this. Thank you. My pleasure. And you're going to go and watch the last session. Perfect. I think there's more energy today. I do think, talking about the platforms, I think we've got a little bit more energy today. Evelyn, you put thank you. I'm looking forward to the course. Hubby already instructed not to disturb me. Fantastic. I'm so looking forward to the Create Success days. If you think this is good, it's going to be better. Though I can't guarantee that I'll have this amount of energy by the 6 o'clock. I'll be living on coffee. Sally put thanks, Nicola. Have downloaded your online download. Fantastic. Linda, you've put thank you, Nicola. Really helpful. My pleasure, Linda. Remember, this isn't just for you, Linda. I feel like I'm saying this after just having said your name. This is everybody. You need to apply what you've learnt. Okay, what you've heard. Remember, the biggest first thing you can do is look at everything you put out from the eyes of your customer. Is it going to grab their attention? Are they going to notice it? Is it talking to them? Are you communicating to them? And if you're not sure, go back and watch the last session about what the product does, not what the product is. Oh, and if you're watching on YouTube, leave me a comment and give me a thumbs up, because it all helps my YouTube account. Unsubscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Jane, you put, can you share the 36 ideas link again? Of course I can. It's that one, Jane. Sally, you put, thanks for today. My pleasure. Vicky, thank you. Thank you too. Jane, thank you. You've just shared it again. Oh, there you go. And I've done it again. Terry put, are the downloads in the member club? Otherwise I have to keep inputting my email. They will be. Tell you what I can do in the members club, I will put the links in direct. So rather than put them in the members club, I will just put the direct links in so you don't have to put your emails in. Nikki, you put like it. Thanks, Nicola. Good. Right then. Okay. I'm really, really looking forward to the Create Success Day. I know several of you on here are joining me for that, and maybe a few others will. If not, there's several people on here in my members club, and I know that they love it in there as well. And I'd really love, if you're not, that you come along and join me. You could try 2 months in the club for the price of one right now. That offer finishes Saturday. What brilliant timing. You can finish 2018 and start 2019 and give yourself a real kickstart. If the Create Success Day isn't for you, that is. And you don't have to stay any longer if you don't want to. But if you love it, and I'm sure you will, then of course you can stay. We'd love to have you there. Right, on that note, marketing. Get out there and talk to your ideal audience and make sure that what you're putting out there appeals to them. You're going to have a conversation with them, that you're going to talk about things and with them. Don't talk at people, talk with them. There you go, that's the last tip. Talk with them, not at them. People far more appreciate it. It's what you do if you're at a craft event, isn't it? Yeah? So treat social media, treat your emails, treat everything else exactly the same. Talk with people. Right, I'm off. I shall speak to you all very, very soon.